Happy Monday, television family. We're back for Christmas week. Going to be a good week, too. Got some good stuff for you. It is cold. It is 7 degrees. Outside of our studios, that long-promised Arctic air has already begun. It's kind of happened overnight. When I went to bed last night, it was 20 degrees. And we got real cold overnight while you were sleeping, and that's going to be the weather pattern all week long. You're going to look at these temperatures, especially some of these overnight lows, towards the middle to the latter half of the week, and you're going to go, are you kidding me? It's going to get really, really cold. Now, the coldest we got all of last year was 2 degrees. That was a couple of days after Christmas. It was like the 27th or 28th of December of last year. We're going to be below zero for the overnight low Wednesday night into Thursday. Cold air is here, and it's going to be hanging around. That's going to be not only our top weather headline today, but probably going to be somewhat newsworthy as well when we have this kind of really, really cold Arctic air. And you factor in the wind chill for some locations, like especially to the north of us, it just cuts right through your clothes. Right now in Omak, it is 1 degree, but the wind is out of the northwest at 18 miles an hour in Omak. Can you imagine that? Well, get ready. Cold, cold, cold. Forecast details are coming up, plus news. Sports, we had a pretty busy weekend. Of course, the Cougars lost the Jimmy Kimmel L.A. Bowl. The Wild lost both games against Penticton and Vernon over the weekend. The Kraken won, though. And, of course, even though the Seahawks didn't play over the weekend, their playoff chances took a little bit of a hit. We got a lot of sports to get to, plus highlights of both the Wenatchee and Eastmont girls and boys basketball games that we covered here on Saturday on the NCAA Live channel. We'll have that for you as well. And the winter solstice is this week, as a matter of fact. It is Wednesday afternoon at 1:48, just in time for the first day of winter. It is going to feel like winter. It's going to be very, very cold. Did I mention it's going to be cold? Right now, the passes are not particularly pleasant. Real quickly, right now on Stevens Pass, traction tires are required. Traction tires are advised on Blewett Pass, and on I-90, Suquamish Pass, chains are required in all vehicles. They are all getting snow. Not a lot of snow, but they're getting some snow, and there's more coming. All right, let's take you around the valley with our cameras. The skies are fairly clear, so we got some views for you today. From the Wenatchee Heights camera, we can actually see Birch Mountain. We like that. We usually can't or haven't been able to for the last few days anyway, but the skies have cleared out, and that's one of the reasons these overnight lows are going to get way, way down. We'll have no blanket at all. So it's beginning to seep southward, that Arctic air. Now it's kind of sitting there. And we're talking wind chills could be minus 20 when you factor in the wind chills to the north of us. I kid you not. Let's go to Badger Mountain, see what we have there. That's what we have from Badger Mountain. Again, it's not sunrise yet. It ain't going to be for a while. 7:44 sunrise this morning. Sunset 4:12, another 8-hour and 28-minute of daylight on the shortest days of the year. So we're looking at over the Wenatchee. You can see a little bit of Wenatchee. You can't see East Wenatchee at all, of course, because the Badger Mountain camera is blocked by the bench. Off to, let's see, what are we going to do? Rock Island? Good morning, Rock Island. How you doing today? See a few cars heading out on Highway 28, heading out to the Columbia Basin. Good morning to Rock Island. Can't quite make out the pond there. You can see a little bit of Malaga on the other side of the river. And let's head on up to Leavenworth, who had a very unique Friday night. We'll get to that when we get to the news. That's the Tumwater Canyon camera, not actually in the canyon. Be no reason to put it in there. You wouldn't be able to see anything. But that's on that big high ridge just before you head in to the Tumwater Canyon and head towards Winton and Coles Corner and the Lake Wenatchee area. Good morning to Leavenworth. Did I mention it's cold and it's going to get even colder? We're talking really, really cold. It's going to bottom out Wednesday night into Thursday. We're talking the coldest temperatures we've had in quite some time. We're not going to get anywhere close to even the freezing mark until we get to Christmas Day. There is going to be a gradual warm-up by the time we get to Saturday and Sunday, but I mean a gradual warm-up. And again, to the north of us, wind chills are going to be really, really bad in Omak, Brewster, and up in the Waterville Plateau. Also Ephrata, Grand Coulee, Moses Lake, Ritzville. Very, very cold wind chills. Not so bad here in the Wenatchee Valley. We're going to get some breezy conditions, but it's going to not nearly be as windy as it's going to be in other locations. In fact, it's windy in Chelan right now. The wind is out of the east-northeast at 16 miles an hour, and it's 7 degrees in Chelan. You combine those two things, and the wind chills are going to be really, really bad. From the National Weather Service and our friends at Apple Valley Honda, you're going to look at these temperatures and you're going to go, wow, are you kidding me? Those aren't misprints, folks. Santa's trying to get down the chimney there. We'll get to 14 degrees, they tell us, with a mixture of clouds and sun. Again, you factor in the wind chill, and it's going to be even colder than that. 5 for the overnight low tonight. That cold air mass is not going to go anywhere all week long until we get to Saturday. It's just going to get colder and colder and colder. And take a look at Wednesday, overnight low into Thursday, minus 3 degrees. 3 degrees below zero on Wednesday. As we get going on Thursday, we're going to stay in the single digits. Look at that high with a slight chance of snow on Thursday. Best chance of measurable snow Thursday night into Friday. We are definitely going to have a white Christmas because the snow we have on the ground now isn't going anywhere. We're going to get some additional light snow, probably no more than an additional inch or so, but certainly out there. And then finally, by the time we get to Christmas Day, coming up on Sunday, we'll finally be above freezing. But it is going to be a bitterly cold Christmas week for North Central Washington. 6 minutes after the hour. After a quick break, we'll have the headlines you need to get your Monday going. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel. Give the gift of amazing sights and sounds this Christmas. Deepwater Electronics is your one-stop shop for the latest in TV and sound technology. Whether you build your home theater or let them do it for you, Deepwater is the clear choice for a brighter, bolder holiday season.
Chelan Wireless is making the switch, and so should you. The switch to T-Mobile, that is. Now you can get the 5G experience America's talking about right here in downtown Chelan. Stop by and see why the switch is on to T-Mobile at Chelan Wireless.
Mondays are happy hour all day long at Bob's Burgers and Brew in East Wenatchee. Great deals on appetizers, martinis, specialty drinks, wine, well drinks, and draft beers. Bob's Burgers and Brew in East Wenatchee. Come on in. They look forward to serving you.
Bob's Burgers and Brews in East Wenatchee. Come enjoy great food, great service, and a great time. Only the best for our guests. We look forward to serving you. Stop on by today.
Hi, this is Kelly, owner of the Original Children's Shop in downtown Wenatchee. We strive to bring you the most quality, fashionable, and fun clothing for your little ones, along with gifts, toys, and accessories. I look forward to meeting you soon at the Original Children's Shop.
Ladies, come fill out your wish list at Collins Fashions. Collins is decked out in red and green and full of cheer. Amazing gifts abound among the sparkly sweaters and beautiful Brighton designs. Collins Fashions in downtown Wenatchee, where Santa shops for fun and fashion.
A couple of stray snowflakes, as you can see. A couple inside the studio, too, I might add. It's 7 degrees outside of our studios. 14 is all we're going to get to today. 14 for the afternoon high on Tuesday. Really, really cold Wednesday and Thursday, and really into Friday. We warm up a little bit for the holiday weekend. It's 9 minutes after the hour. A male suspect phoned in a threat against a Leavenworth business. This happened on Friday evening, and that led to a downtown shelter-in-place order during the town's busy Village of Lights festival. According to Chelan County Sheriff's deputies, the call came into the Rivercom Dispatch Center just before 7 o'clock on Friday night. The suspect threatening a Leavenworth business over an incident that allegedly happened prior to the call. Under Sheriff Jason Matthews in a press release said, and I'm quoting now, he stated he had a rifle with a large amount of ammunition and a pipe bomb, end quote. Now, the media release on Saturday did not identify the business targeted. Matthews said several Chelan County deputies and Washington State Patrol troopers conducted a thorough sweep of the downtown area. They didn't find anything. Police remained on standby in downtown for the bulk of Friday night. The investigation, by the way, is ongoing, according to Under Sheriff Jason Matthews. This is the third threat to target Leavenworth's downtown in the last 3 years. You might remember a bomb threat back on December 29th of 2020. That led authorities to close Highway 2 and evacuate the downtown business district. And then a second threat last March also forced a highway closure as well as a blockade of side roads that led to the main roadway. In both cases, they swept the downtown Leavenworth area, did not find any explosive devices, nor was any suspect arrested. Matthews wrote that the latest incident appears to pose no threat to the public, and the call may have been what they call swatting. Swatting is a term that refers to a phony emergency call that sends police agencies to a specifically targeted location. The perpetrator of a 1994 murder here in the Wenatchee Valley has been resentenced to life in prison. 47-year-old Michael Randall Lauderdale was already serving a life sentence with no possibility of parole in the bludgeoning death of 21-year-old Jeremy Wood. Last year, the Washington State Supreme Court ordered that his sentence be reconsidered because he was 19 years old. Lauderdale was when he committed the crime. Chelan County Judge Travis Brandt carried out the resentencing on Thursday, and he ruled that the original life sentence remained appropriate. Lauderdale remains incarcerated at the Airway Heights Correctional Center outside of Spokane. The Wenatchee Police Department is reminding folks that this is the time of the year for porch pirates. They are especially active, of course, with thousands of holiday packages being delivered to homes. Police shared this video of a suspect taking a package from outside a Wenatchee home. This was on Thursday. They said if you recognize the woman in the video, to give them a call at the Rivercom non-emergency hotline, 509-663-9911. The department advises people to avoid leaving packages unattended for an extended period of time and never leave packages in your vehicle overnight. A Douglas County judge is being asked to reconsider his ruling against the nurses and other staff members that were dismissed by Confluence Health. The Wenatchee healthcare system made COVID-19 vaccinations a requirement for all workers in 2021, but 92 employees refused to get their shots, and instead they filed suit against Confluence, alleging discrimination. Judge Brian Huber dismissed their lawsuit last month, saying they showed no evidence of the kind of discrimination they alleged. On December 8th, their attorney, Steve Lacey, filed a motion for reconsideration, a prelude for a possible appeal to a higher court. Huber is scheduled to render his decision on that motion next month. The Wenatchee School District is in its budgeting phase, and they want the public, the administrators do anyway, want the public to understand how exactly budgeting a school district works. District officials have warned of financial contractions, which are likely to lead to staff reductions. A final budget is expected to be adopted around the end of February. Interim Superintendent Bill Eagle and Assistant Executive Director Corey Callahar put together a 10-minute video for the district's website on how the budget works, and here's an excerpt of that.
School districts are funded by a combination of state, federal, and local dollars. Our largest source of revenue, about 69%, comes from the state in two areas: general purpose funds, often called apportionment, and state special purpose funds, which are often referred to as categorical funds.
Within the general fund, most of the dollars, typically around 83%, are used to fund staff, which include teachers, our paraeducators, our principals, and even our operational staff who keep things running smoothly. This also includes the cost of both salaries and benefits like Medicare, Social Security, healthcare, and unemployment benefits as well. The remainder of the general fund dollars are used for supplies and materials, purchase services, such as contracts for services, and some travel.
For the first time since 2018, the Grant County Public Utility District is raising its electricity rates. Grant PUD commissioners approved a plan last week to raise rates on residential customers by 3%. The PUD estimates that it'll cost the typical ratepayer an additional $3.20 a month. The commissioners said inflation has increased the utility's operating expenses by 8.7% for the 2023 budget. The PUD pointed out that its rates are still slightly more than half of what the average Washington resident is paying. The rate increases were slightly higher for industrial and agricultural customers. The new rates go into effect on the first day of April. And finally, Eastmont School Resource Officer Ivy Jacobson organized the first ever Eastmont Elves Shop with a Cop event last week. At Fred Meyer, the event drew law enforcement from throughout the area. The goal, making sure absolutely every student in the Eastmont district has at least a present this year, if not more than one. A video produced by the Eastmont School District will put you in the Christmas spirit.
Today we are here doing our first annual Eastmont Elves Shop with Cops event. This is for selected students who are needing to be blessed this season because they're going through crisis, trauma, medical situation at home, job loss, any financial situation. They were hand selected by Eastmont School District employees from each school, all 9 Eastmont schools, to come here and be blessed with a first responder. They were given a $140 gift card, and Fred Myers has been awesome today to host this first event, and we're hoping to keep on doing it. They're also blessing the kids with a 10% off discount at the register and helping with any overage that may happen.
This is all money that's either fundraised or donated that we will use to have kids get gifts for the Christmas year, and then they'll either spend it on themselves, spend it on family members. We encourage them to spend it on their parents or with their siblings, and a lot of them they just do that naturally too. So it's a great way for us to connect with the community and to have kids to experience good Christmases just like anybody else would too.
This all happened today because of our community. This money that was given and blessed with these children was fundraised by our Wenatchee Valley community. If you want to be a part of this next year and help us bridge the gap between community and first responders and help our Eastmont students, you may donate to Santa Stars. They are a local nonprofit 501(c)(3). All funds are given back to this community, and particularly the students of Wenatchee, Chelan, and Eastmont School District.
That reminds me, of course, all the kids are on winter break, so nobody's in school for the next couple of days. So watch the show, kids. You might learn something, and that's what's making news at 17 minutes after the hour as Uriah crinkles up the sports report in my earpiece, a friendly reminder that we will have the news for you at 5, 6, and 10. Grant and Eric and Cal and Jefferson and everybody gets together and helps put the newscast together. It's a team effort with a preview. Here's the anchor, Grant Olson.
Good Monday morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, our unseasonably cold weather continues today before warmer and snowier weather comes our way by midweek. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Eric Granstrom has a wrap from the weekend on all the high school, college, and pro sports action from around our area. That and all the day's news stories coming your way tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope you'll join us then. Dan?
Thank you, Grant. And don't forget, if you got a news tip, we'd love to hear from you. If you just want to drop us a note and say hi, go right ahead. You're more than welcome to do it. You can go to our Facebook page and use the Messenger app. You can email us directly, news at ncwlife.com, or go to our homepage, ncwlife.com. You'll see the Contact Us icon. Pretty straightforward from there. When we come back, a lot of sports to get to. It was a busy weekend in the ever-widening world of sports, and we'll let you know who did what to whom in about 90 seconds. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley Monday edition on the NCW Life channel.
Hi, Wenatchee Valley. It's Ben and
Eddie the Yeti.
Whoop, 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 with Columbia Cooling and Refrigeration. Now's the time to get your fireplaces clean and serviced.
Don't forget the heat pumps and furnaces.
We just added a service electrician to our team.
Can we do panel change-outs now?
Yes, and other electrical work. We are a factory authorized Bryant dealer, whatever it takes.
Whether you're hot or cold, our service is gold.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Columbia Cooling and Refrigeration, 509-668-8108.
The holiday season is here, and life is hectic. Let Merry Maids help simplify yours.
You expect a lot, and Merry Maids delivers more. They'll make your home or business sparkle for holiday parties, special events, and family gatherings. They'll customize the cleaning to fit your needs and your budget. Merry Maids are cleaning experts. They're licensed, bonded, and insured. Best of all, your satisfaction is always guaranteed. Visit online, merrymaids.com, and call for a free estimate. Then you can relax. It's done.
Back out of the 20 minutes after the hour, the Seattle Kraken wrapped up a busy sports weekend with a nice comeback. A 3-2 comeback win over the Winnipeg Jets yesterday. At Climate Pledge Arena, Seattle was finally home after a 1-3 road trip. They fell behind early to the Jets, but then Jordan Eberle started the comeback in the first period.
That's always the case. Now done for Larson. Slap pass, Eberle. Scores! Now you see it. Now you don't. A little magic from Jordan Eberle. And the Kraken have tied it. Kyle Connor. Dubois. Seam pass off Larson, not out. Morrissey, Connor, stopped by Grubauer, they score! Pierre-Luc Dubois had a yawning cage and no mistake. To the boards now, Yanni Gord. Shot taken, tipped in! Ryan Donato! 1, 2, 3, 3 goals and 3 straight, and the Kraken have tied it. To the wall now, forced by Schwartz. McCann scores! Jared McCann with a short side stinger. Hey, what do you say? 3-2, Seattle. 1 and a fraction on the clock. Benier squares off against Dubois, goes forward. The Kraken get it. That's Kraken hockey, baby. A 3-2 win over Winnipeg.
Kraken had the day off today. They'll be hosting the St. Louis Blues on tomorrow night at 7 on Root Sports Northwest. Rough weekend for the Wenatchee Wild north of the border. They lost to Penticton Friday. It wasn't much of a game. 7-2 was the final. Parker Murray and Michael Valdez scored for the Wild in the loss. On Saturday, Cade Littler tried to bring the Wild back all by himself. He scored 2 goals in the second and third periods, but it wasn't enough as they lost to the Vipers 3-2. They are off now for the holiday break. They won't be back again until 1 week from Friday, December 30th at the Town Toyota Center. They'll be hosting the Prince George Spruce Kings. Gonzaga Bulldogs won big on a national stage Saturday. In men's college basketball, the 15th-ranked Bulldogs outlasted a spirited effort from 4th-ranked Alabama, and they won the game national television. I watched it. 100-90. Also over the weekend, Eastern Washington dumped UC Davis 79-68. The Huskies topped Idaho State 90-55 in men's basketball, and the Cougars came up short yesterday to number 11 Baylor 65-59. In women's basketball, the Cougars topped Jackson State on Saturday 83-56. 23rd-ranked Gonzaga beat BYU in Spokane 67-58. Haley Van Lith led Louisville with 20 points. The Cardinals topped Pittsburgh 77-53. The Husky ladies lost to Liberty Sunday 66-54. Washington State's football team no match for Fresno State in the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl. On Saturday, the Bulldogs outgained the Cougars 401 to 182 yards in the game. The final was 29-6. Wasn't even that close. Despite the loss, Coach Jake Dickert says he's proud of his players and said all in all, it was a good year for the program.
Yeah, it isn't about one outcome. You know, that's the biggest thing. I told the team after the game, I'm really proud of them. You know, I'm proud of, more importantly, those 13 seniors that you never know if you're going to put the pads back on. And those guys, you know, we took over a program this year that we had to establish a foundation. And I'm proud of the foundation that they have started, because it's something that you can build on and you can build a championship team around. And I'm just really proud of those guys, the effort, you know, through all challenges and adversities, not just today, but as we went throughout the season. You know, there was times when we could have quit and given up, and there's never those mindset or moments in this team. You know, so we kept pushing and just didn't get the outcome that we were looking for today.
Cougars finished the season, by the way, 7-6. All right, to the Les Schwab Prep girls basketball scoreboard. We'll start with Friday, where Moses Lake beat Wenatchee 61-18. Prosser topped Ephrata by 40. Omak shut down Chelan 53-44. Republic more than doubled up on Oroville. Okanagan topped Tonasket, and Brewster over Lake Roosevelt. On Saturday, Eastmont dominated Wenatchee in a game broadcast right here on the NCW Life channel. 45-18 was the final. The Panthers scored just 1 point in the first half. Eric Granstrom and Grant Olson had the call.
Wenatchee, small crowd on hand. Here's a three-pointer, and just like that, Grant, Emma Bergen says, we're going to start making these from outside. Inbounds pass comes in, and Cardona shoots a long two-pointer. It's good. The first field goal of the game by Danica Cardona for Wenatchee. Be completely different.
You know, that's right.
Around the perimeter, here's a two on the way in, good from outside by Elizabeth Hines. That's her 8th point of the game. It's halfway through the fourth quarter. Here's a three-pointer from outside for Eastmont. It's good. Oh, my. Emma Bergen. She's got 7. That's her second 3 of the ball game.
I bet that feels good. She has been really
away. Cool. Ripped away by Klinkenberg. She'll feed ahead for the right-handed layup. Good by Hines. As Eastmont comes in and gets their first victory of the season by downing Wenatchee tonight 45-18.
Elizabeth Hines led the Wildcats, by the way, with 12 points in the win. Also on Saturday, again at the scoreboard from our friends at Les Schwab. Sunnyside over Moses Lake in girls basketball. Omak beat Lake Roosevelt. Brewster bounced Quincy, Okanagan, Colville. Eric writes these, by the way. Bridgeport beat Antioch by 23. Keep that man away from a thesaurus. Boys basketball on Friday. Moses Lake edged Wenatchee 68-62. Prosser over Ephrata 51-43. Kashmir cruised by Cascade 72-48. Omak over Chelan. Republic by 6 over Orville. Okanagan over Tenasket. Lake Roosevelt beat Brewster 71-60. On Saturday, Wenatchee got off to a good start, but they couldn't hold on. Eastmont came back for the big 81-47 victory. Once again, Grant and Eric courtside with the call.
There's Michael Torres with Monahan on him. Gets a screen, running jumper, good! Wenatchee coming out playing with some energy here in this first quarter and have a 6-2 lead. Now it's Shindelli inside the three-point line. No, it isn't. It's a 3, and it's good. The rebound, and it's into the hands of Reese Gallagher. 3-on-2, Eastmont. Gallagher, layup is good. Jelsing on him. Shindelli now top of the key, drives to the elbow, won't take it. Gallagher will though for 3. Swish!
Watching everybody else fight down low, gets the ball and just drains it.
Another turnover for the Panthers. Hobson steals it, and a two-handed jam. Andy Hobson, and it's good. Woo! Smoking hot here in this second quarter. Here's Torres. Jump pass stolen away. Here's Gallagher this time, and he dunks it.
On the bench, like right after the first quarter ended, he was just like, we wanted to mainly focus on one thing. It was defensive consistency or intensity, and we just really wanted to focus on that and come out like, don't let him shoot, don't let him like get any offense started, and we just wanted to like push him on that. So yeah.
And you know, Reese, you guys are 3-3 on the season now, but you've rebounded just about every team you've played this year so far, and tonight you made those rebounds count.
Yeah, our coach, he just wanted us like crush the boards, make sure to just get all those rebounds and get our offense going right away. Yeah.
Elsewhere on Saturday, to the Les Schwab scoreboard we go. Moses Lake losing to Sunnyside by 3. Omak edged Lake Roosevelt. Brewster beating Quincy. Okanagan down Colville. Bridgeport edged Antioch. In Chelam beat Oroville 60-24. And finally, Denver comes from behind to beat Arizona in NFL action on Sunday. The Cardinals now drop to 4-10 with a loss. The Rams are in Green Bay tonight to take on the Packers on Monday Night Football on ESPN at 5:15. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Monday, the 19th day of December. Well, first of all, happy Hanukkah. First day of Hanukkah began, the Festival of Lights began last night. It's National Oatmeal Muffin Day, which is good for you, but no. Today we're going to spotlight a food that isn't good for you. It's Hard Candy Day today. And hard candy, what's the best way to put it? People either really like hard candy or they don't much care for hard candy. I'm one of those. I'm not a big fan of hard candy. Candy is something I want to chew and you know, that kind of stuff. Hard candy, it just sticks it in your mouth and it just kind of sits there for a while. Not a big fan of hard candy, but it is the season. You know, you see little dishes of hard candy in businesses and stuff like that. So if you're into hard candy, if you're into that kind of thing, this day is for you. If not, you're more than welcome to skip it, and instead you can eat yourself an oatmeal muffin if you so desire. Not a big fan of hard candy, but for those of you who are, today is your day. That's your obscure holiday. It is the bottom of the hour. Today in history, another friendly reminder that the Revolutionary War Our strategy was to play the long game. The idea is the longer we keep fighting, the British, they're eventually going to say, "Out of hell with it," and go back to England and just let us be. And part of that strategy was keeping the Continental Army around as long as possible, and it was on this date, December 19th, 1777, 245 years ago today. George Washington and about 12,000 soldiers and about 500 women and children set up camp at Valley Forge, winter quarters at Valley Forge. Valley Forge, about 18 miles northwest of Philadelphia. Strategically, it was a great place to be because it sat on high ground. So on the off chance that the British were going to attack them during the winter, they would be able to see them. You want to take the high ground. About 12,000 soldiers, and again, about 500 women and children, lived at Valley Forge all the way till June of the next year. About 2,000 of them died of either disease or even starvation. Things were pretty rough there. And about 1,500 horses died as well. And when the horses died, you can imagine what they did to them. It was not a particularly pleasant winter, but they got through it, and they survived. And in 1778, they got back to fighting again, and eventually the British said, to hell with it. It's all yours. Valley Forge, they began their sojourn on this date in 1777. 65 years ago today, Elvis Presley opened up his mail, and there's that's his actual draft notice, Elvis's draft notice from the U.S. Army, December 19th, 1957. Congratulations, Elvis. Merry Christmas. For the next year and a half, your butt belongs to us. Elvis didn't immediately go into the Army. They had just begun pre-production on King Creole, which, by the way, is his best movie. And, it's all dependent on Elvis being in the movie. So Elvis asked for and got a 60-day deferment so they could finish making the movie King Creole. There's a lot of money tied up in this movie. You just can't. So they did. They agreed. So he got a 60-day deferment. They made King Creole. Then he went into the Army. Elvis, drafted 65 years ago today. 48 years ago today, thanks to the 25th Amendment, Nelson Rockefeller was sworn in as the Vice President of the United States under President Ford. Of course, Ford got his gig because of the 25th Amendment. This had never been done before. Rockefeller, the second person to be appointed Vice President via the provisions of the 25th Amendment. The first one is boss, Gerald Ford. Nelson Rockefeller, who was not invited to run on the Republican ticket in 1976. If you watched the World Cup final yesterday, you saw it. A great game, very entertaining, exciting. I watched the whole thing from beginning to end. It was fantastic, with Argentina eventually defeating France in penalty kicks. You saw them hold up the famous World Cup trophy. That's not the original trophy. What you see on your screen was the original World Cup trophy that was made way back in 1930 by Jules Rimet. And in 1970, after Brazil won their third World Cup, the deal with Jules Rimet is that the first country to win 3 World Cups would permanently get to keep the World Cup trophy, and they would simply make a new one. And that is the original World Cup trophy made out of solid gold. And on this date, December 19th, 1983, while it was on permanent display behind bulletproof glass at the Brazilian Football Federation headquarters in Rio de Janeiro, 4 guys broke into the case and stole it. It was surrounded by bulletproof glass except the back of it, which was just a cabinet. And they just took a crowbar and opened up the back of the cabinet, walked right out with it. The 4 suspects were tried in absentia and were found guilty. They had a pretty good idea of who they were. They never did catch them, never found the trophy again. Most people think that they probably, since it was made out of solid gold, they probably melted it down and sold it on the black market. The original World Cup trophy, that right there, stolen, never recovered on this date in 1983, 39 years ago today. And 24 years ago today, for just the second time in this nation's history, a president of the United States was impeached. The House of Representatives impeaches President Bill Clinton. He was tried in the Senate in January of 1999, and was acquitted. Let's do some birthdays. I thought I had eyebrows. Leonid Brezhnev really had eyebrows. Things are phenomenal. He was, of course, the 4th head of the Soviet Union, served longer than any other head of the Soviet Union, with the exception of Stalin himself. He ran the country from 1964 to 1982. He was during my youth, he was always in charge. Leonid Brezhnev, born in the state in 1906. Got some serious eyebrows there. And Maurice White. We miss Maurice White, the founder, the leader, the principal songwriter, and producer of Earth, Wind, and Fire. We lost Maurice White 6 years ago at the age of 74, but the music lives on. He's inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, class of 2000. The great Earth, Wind, and Fire. That's the way of the world. Buy the album. Buy two. In case one breaks, you got a backup. Going to take a break. When we come back, opinion from Mike Mad Dog Magnotti. You're watching a Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills. A chill is in the air and it's a perfect time for some old-fashioned comfort food like our amazing Eggs Benedict, chicken fried steak, French dips, soups made from scratch, or fruit pies fresh from the oven. The crowds might be gone, but we're still here for you folks. So bring an appetite and a friend to Blueberry Hills in Manson, where you pick, you sit, you eat, and you visit. Open Wednesday through Sunday from 8 to 3. wildaboutberries.com.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
With all the variety on SureStream TV from Localtel, there's always something to watch. But what if you hit the couch in the middle of all the shows? That's a perfect time to use the features Catch Up or Restart. Catch up on shows from up to 3 days ago, or restart your show from the beginning. Go to your guide and select the show to restart. Then play, pause, rewind on your schedule. Don't forget, SureStream TV from Localtel lets you decide when shows begin.
We were in Roseburg in the early 80s. Our oldest son, Dan, was a defensive back, a starter on that team. They in fact, became Oregon State champions, setting the first undefeated 14-0 season in Oregon's history. And our kids still talk about that. I go back now, too, and I think about all those great days and great times. The neat thing is that we can go back in today and still enjoy the same quality food that we enjoyed 50 years ago. That's legendary.
You've got a lot to do today. While you're out and about, remember to dispose of your unused medications safely and anonymously. It's a simple act that makes your home a safer place. Next time you're at the pharmacy, just place them in the drop box. To find a location, visit medproject.org.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion, Ellen. I've heard you've heard people say, and maybe you've said it yourself, that I feel like I have to walk around eggshells around them. Meaning, of course, that we're trying to moderate our own behavior in hopes that we don't make someone else mad or abusive. Well, if you feel like you're walking on eggshells around someone, don't bother. See, the reality is, if your partner or your friend is going to get mad or abusive, that's their problem. And no matter what you do, they're going to find an excuse to act out and then blame you for their behavior. Now, seriously, if this is what's going on in your relationship, it may be time to stop worrying about what you're doing and instead start questioning the nature of the relationship itself. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
The agents of Kennedy Real Estate Group are committed to providing the ideal client experience. We believe in the power of relationships. Why? Because we don't just work here, we live here. From the nonprofits we serve, the parks where we play, and the local businesses we support, our team understands the value of living in the Wenatchee Valley. Let's begin your real estate story.
50 years ago, a group of visionaries saw a need to provide high-quality health care to every member of our community,
regardless of age or income.
Today, Columbia Valley Community Health has grown to provide medical,
dental,
and behavioral health care through a network of facilities
and a mobile clinic that serves patients in remote locations.
For 50 years, we have been offering quality care to all,
and we will continue to do so
for 50 more.
We are CVCH,
and we are here with you.
Since 1932, Camp Seneca, nestled on the beautiful shores of Lake Wenatchee, has provided children grades 1 through 12 with the ideal location for kids to learn new skills, have fun, and make friends while creating memories that will last a lifetime. Camp Seneca's rustic log cabins and their staff serve to provide each group a unique summer camp experience. Register for Camp Seneca today, www.campfirencw.org.
It's the NCW Life Community Calendar, a presentation of Merry Maids. Music Theater of Wenatchee's annual Christmas production is All Is Calm, the Christmas Truce of 1914. This one-act a cappella musical tells the story of how a German soldier emerged from the trenches on Christmas Eve and sang O Tannenbaum, triggering a reaction that brought soldiers out from both sides to share in the Christmas spirit. Performances are December 15th through the 17th at the Riverside Playhouse. Tickets can be purchased at numericapac.org.
Did you know that nearly 50% of pet poisoning cases involve human medications and prescription drugs? Sometimes the culprit's a curious dog, but cats get into their share of trouble as well. Other times, pet owners mistakenly give their pets their own medications that are safe to people but toxic to their pets. Dr. Shauna Baez and her staff care about your pets. Go to pawsandclawsvh.com for a complete list of medications to avoid or call 888-PAWS.
Alignment Pros and Express Lube. They are the best at what they do. Alignment Pros and Express Lube has Castro oil changes starting at $44.99 and $20 off full synthetic oil changes with no appointments needed. Wait in their clean, comfortable lobby with a hot or cold beverage. Oil changes, alignments, brakes, struts, shocks, specialty cars. With a 5-star rating, you can trust the quality work at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. You can lift this up.
Great, I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Brett Young, 5 Tour 321. Friday, May 12th at Town Toyota Center in Wenatchee with special guests Morgan Evans and Ashley Cook. Tickets on sale now at the box office, by phone, or towntoyotacenter.com.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue.
44 minutes after the hour, we've already hit our low temperature of the day today. It was forecast to be 5 degrees for the coldest point of the day today. We're now at 3 degrees outside of our studios. Up in Omak, it is 1 degree But the story up there is the wind chill. The wind is out of the west-northwest in Omak at 20 miles an hour. You factor in just one single degree and that kind of wind, and the wind chill just cuts through your clothes. And we are in for a very, very cold week with the coldest temperatures we've seen since December of last year. Complete forecast details are coming up, but Wednesday night's overnight lows will be below zero here in the Wenatchee Valley, and we're still going to have a little bit of snow, too, for this Christmas week. It's 45 minutes after the hour. One more quick look at what made news over the weekend, and you probably heard about this. A male suspect phoned in a threat against a Leavenworth business. This happened Friday evening, and that led to a downtown shelter-in-place order during Leavenworth's busy Village of Lights Festival. Chelan County Sheriff's deputies said the call came into Rivercom at about 6:58 on Friday night, with a suspect threatening a Leavenworth business over an incident that allegedly happened prior to the call. Under Sheriff Jason Matthews, in a news release, said, and I'm quoting, he stated he had a rifle with a large amount of ammunition and a pipe bomb, end quote. Now, the media release did not identify the business that was targeted. Matthews said several Chelan County deputies and Washington State Patrol troopers conducted a thorough sweep of the downtown area. They didn't find anything to corroborate the threat. Police remained on standby in downtown for the bulk of Friday night. The investigation is ongoing, according to Under Sheriff Jason Matthews. It's the third violent threat to target Leavenworth's downtown in the last 3 years, the second to occur during the winter holidays. A bomb threat on December 29th of 2020 led authorities to close Highway 2 and evacuate the downtown business district. Nothing was found there. A second threat was last March that also forced the closure of the highway, as well as a blockade of side roads that led in to downtown Leavenworth. In both cases, they swept downtown. They didn't find any explosives, and they never arrested any suspect either. Matthews wrote that the latest incident appears to pose no threat to the public, and he said may have been what they call swatting. Swatting is a term that refers to a phony emergency call that sends police agencies to a specifically targeted location. The perpetrator of that brutal 1994 murder here in town was resentenced last week to life in prison. 47-year-old Michael Randall Lauderdale was already serving a life sentence with no possibility of parole, and the bludgeoning death of 21-year-old Jeremy Wood. Well, last year, the Washington State Supreme Court ordered that his sentence be reconsidered because Lauderdale committed the crime when he was only 19 years old. Chelan County Judge Travis Brandt carried out the resentencing on Thursday. He ruled that the original life sentence remained appropriate. Lauderdale remains incarcerated at the Airway Heights Correctional Center outside of Spokane. And the Wenatchee Police Department is reminding people it's that time of the year again. Porch Pirates are out and about. They are especially active this time of the year, of course. There are thousands of holiday packages being delivered to homes. Take a look at this video. The police shared this one. This is a suspect taking a package from outside of Wenatchee home. This happened last Thursday. They said if you recognize the woman in the video, give them a call at Rivercom's NARD emergency line at 509-663-9911. The department advises people to don't leave packages unattended on your porch for an extended period of time, and don't leave your packages in your vehicle overnight. It's just a recipe for somebody to steal it. And that's another quick look at what's making news. We're going to take one more break, do another tour of cameras around the valley, and your very cold weather forecast is coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
Raising a family may have seemed overwhelming to your parents, but they weren't. Coach, teacher, life guide, caregiver. Family takes care of family. And as the circle of life continues, you now are their caregiver. It may seem overwhelming, but we're here to help you find the support services necessary so you can provide quality care to your elders.
Call Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington at 1-800-572-4459.
I have a hereditary bone disease from the female side of my family. My bone loss was so significant that you could almost see the roots. I became embarrassed and I started covering my mouth. Eating became very difficult as far as I stopped eating apples, corn on the cob, things that you just eat as it is without utensils. Dr. Divis was my dentist prior to having implants. We talked about traditional dentures or implants, and implants was the only way really that I could go. John Divis and all of his office staff, they checked on me throughout all the processes. I would never go anyplace else. Today, I can eat corn on the cob. I can have apples. Thanks to Dr. John Divis and his staff, I have my smile back. I feel more confident. I am me again.
This is John Divis. Let our team help you solve your dental needs.
When Mike leaves town, it's a little scary. You never know who might be outside. But we feel safer inside knowing our home is being monitored by a local company. I can check our alarm from just about anywhere. So when we get home, I know it's safe.
Protect your family and save money with a local company. Switch your current security monitoring to Guardian Services from LocalTel. Call Guardian Security from LocalTel now or visit localtel.net to learn more.
This could be the view out of your office window.
North Central Washington is probably one of the most beautiful places to live, and you get to experience it all as a transit operator.
Link Transit coach operators enjoy full family benefits, paid CDL training, a state-of-the-art fleet, and the satisfaction of being part of a progressive, community-minded team.
We have a lot of fun with each other. I mean, it's a good group of people. We're all kind of like a family.
If you like this view, Link has a seat for you. The next operator training starts soon. Apply today at linktransit.com.
Are you frustrated because you feel like you aren't getting the internet speeds you pay for? One of the most common ways to test your internet connection is called a speed test. These are free and easily located on the internet and can tell you how fast your internet is. However, for certain reasons, these tests may not always be accurate. A speed test shows you how fast a file can be downloaded to the computer you're running the test on. However, there are many things that can affect the speed of that download besides the speed of the internet going into your home. A few of the things that can affect your internet speed are poor Wi-Fi signal, other wireless signals interfering with the wireless signals coming from your router, other devices in your home draining your bandwidth, your computer or phone running apps programs in the background that you aren't aware of, slowing your entire device. Any of these things can slow down your internet. Your internet is like water flowing down a pipe. There's a big pipe bringing internet to your local area, and a smaller pipe coming off of that bringing internet to your home address. Your router is just another pipe that brings the internet inside your house, and every device inside your home is like a pipe connected to the router. Just like with water, if any of those pipes along the way are too small for the amount of internet that needs to flow through for a family, the flow for everything down the line will be much slower. It's a lot like trying to push all the water going into your house through a small straw. Also, again, just like with water, if everyone in your home is using the internet at once, any individual device may not be able to receive the full flow of the internet. It's like your whole family trying to drink out of that small straw all at once. If you're struggling with internet that is slower than expected, make sure that all of the devices that your internet flows through are working correctly, and check all devices in your home for background programs that may be using the internet. If everything still appears to be working correctly, contact us and we'll be able to help.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Minutes after the hour. The sun's been up for about 10 minutes. You wouldn't know it if you're just joining us. Our forecast low temperature today for the National Weather Service was 5 degrees. It is 3 degrees outside of our studios. This is not a surprise. That big cold mass of dry Arctic air worked its way into the Wenatchee Valley overnight. last night and right on into today, and it continues to seep southward. And as it seeps southward, there are some locations where the pressure gradients are going to tighten up a little bit, in some cases quite a bit, which is why we don't have any wind at all here in the Wenatchee Valley, but Omak has got winds at 20 miles an hour. It's a little breezy up in Chelan, we're told. Also out of the Columbia Basin. Those complete forecast details are coming up. It is going to be bitterly cold, especially by the middle of the week. Wait till you see the temperatures on Wednesday and Thursday. It is going to get cold. Now by Christmas Day, we're going to warm back up to where we should be. But we're pretty much guaranteed a white Christmas, because what we have on the ground now, we had a little bit of dusting, of course, on Sunday afternoon. What we have now is not going anywhere. Not with these temperatures. No way. So if you love a white Christmas, you're going to have one. We have the times. Let's take one more tour around the Wenatchee Valley, courtesy of LocalTel's Sky-Fi division and their PTZ cameras. We can pan, we can tilt, we can zoom, and that's a perfect example of what I'm just talking about. At least we can see things. Usually with that air inversion layer that we had that was prevalent for most of last week, we couldn't see anything. Now we can. That's, of course, from the Wenatchee Heights. Brand new camera we just put up there. Really nice camera. We've been fiddling around with that, fine-tuning it just a little bit. But as you can see, we are covered in snow, and we will be. And boy, is it going to be cold. Saturday, we got to 20 degrees for the afternoon high. Sunday, 21. That's going to feel downright balmy compared to what we have coming up. Again, complete details are on the way. Camera 2, if we're using the same cameras, we're probably off to Badger, and that is zoomed way back. PTZ, an acronym. We can pan, we can tilt, and we can zoom. And that is zoomed as far back as it possibly can, with the wheat fields covered in the heavy snow. You can see a good swath of the west side of the valley, the Wenatchee side of the valley, and the foothills and the canyons, but you can't see really much of East Wenatchee at all. The East Wenatchee bench blocks the view from our Badger Mountain camera. I think you can make out a little bit of the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval there. No racing, by the way, this weekend at the WVSO. Let's check in with our friends at Rock Island. There you go. There's the Rock Island Pond. That'll be frozen by the end of the week with temperatures below zero. Again, details are coming up. Also, we get to say good morning to our friends up Stemiltway in Malaga. And it's off to Waterville. That is not Waterville. That is Leavenworth. Again, covered in snow from the Tumwater Canyon camera, looking back up towards the upper valley, towards Peshastin and Dryden. Good morning to Leavenworth. Boy, you want to get in the Christmas spirit, go to Leavenworth. If you want to feel like you live at the North Pole, don't go anywhere. Bitterly cold temperatures all week long. Again, this was not a surprise. The Arctic air, they said, is going to come. It's going to keep seeping southward from the Arctic through British Columbia and right down here into the Wenatchee Valley. And it has. And it's going to be cold. Now, wind chill values of minus 10 to minus 20 is going to happen to the north of us. Orville, Omak, Okanagan, Riverside, Brewster, Pateros, Bridgeport, very, very cold and windy. And then you go to the Waterville Plateau and out of the Columbia Basin. They're not going to get away from this stuff. You're going to have breezy conditions in Ephrata and Grand Coulee, Moses Lake and Ritzville. And so when you have the combination of that very cold air mass, which is going to be well entrenched in the area all the way through the week before temperatures finally moderate back to seasonal norms by the time we get to Christmas Day, but that's going to seem like a long way away. Check out this forecast from the National Weather Service, courtesy of our friends at Apple Valley Honda. Forecast high today, 14. I'm starting to have my doubts we're going to get there. You factor in the wind chill. Now, here in the Wenatchee Valley, it's not going to be particularly windy. The wind chill is going to really affect folks to the north of us and to the east of us, as I mentioned before. Not so much here. By the way, the passes are not particularly good with I-90 right now as a chain requirement. Snoqualmie Pass. Very little wind, but you factor in the wind chill, it'll feel about zero. Now, again, our low today was supposed to be 5. We've already done that. We're at 3 degrees as we speak. It gets even colder on Tuesday with a chance of some light snow on Tuesday afternoon. We're going to see a few more clouds on Tuesday, too. We'll have a couple of sun breaks today. Filtered sunshine. Not so much on Tuesday. It'll be fairly cloudy and still very, very cold. Look at Wednesday. Partly sunny. Again, a forecast high of 14. But look at the overnight low Wednesday night. -3. You take all the degrees, you get rid of them, and then you get rid of 3 more. That is going to be the overnight low Wednesday. So Thursday, with that bitterly cold start, we're not going to get anywhere. 7 for the forecast high on Thursday. And then snow maybe on Friday and Saturday. We finally warm up a little bit on Christmas. That is it for us. Have a good and safe Monday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.